Now at 6 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, the latest in the case of a missing 20-year-old Victoria woman. We have details from a news conference held by the Victoria County Sheriff. In the holiday season, the need for blood donations rises in the Crossroads. And the state Supreme Court has heard arguments from women who were denied abortions. Now they are deciding whether to block the state's abortion ban.
Quite a bit of cloud cover over our area of Texas, not so much up north, but we're watching the west coast because that's where the next storm's coming from. That's going to give us some heavy rain by Thursday. We'll have all that coming up in a moment.
And a Goliad track and field star is heading to a Division I school to throw shot put and discus. We hear from him in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Karina Garcia has the night off. Authorities believe they have found the body of Amanda Stevenson. Her mother reported the 20-year-old missing last Tuesday. She was last seen Sunday, November 19th, the week of Thanksgiving, near Salem Road. 25 News Now reporter Adarius McCormick has more. Adarius?
Amanda Stevenson went missing just days before Thanksgiving and her 20th birthday. Today, around noon, authorities found a body near Patriot Park. They believe it is the body of Stevenson. The Victoria County Sheriff's Office hosted a press conference regarding the missing case. Amanda's family, the VCSO, and the Victoria Police Department met near Saxett Lake. The sheriff did not take any questions, but says they will release more information after an autopsy is done.
Obviously, we are aware of the missing persons investigation that our partners at the city are working. Our investigation has resulted in a preliminary identification of the missing person, Amanda Stevenson.
An associate of hers, Kevin Bennison, was interviewed about Amanda's disappearance, and when stopped for a second interview, he took his own life. It's unclear when Bennison was interviewed the first time about Amanda being missing. The Texas Rangers are investigating the fatal traffic stop where Bennison took his own life. Back to you, Don.
Darius, thank you. And here's your viewer poll this afternoon. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. Here is the question. How often do you use a ride-sharing program? Daily, weekly, monthly, a few times a year, or never? And so far, 89% of the voters say they use a ride-sharing program never. We thank you so much for voting. We want to hear your opinion. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and I'll have an update on 25 News Now at 10. The city of Victoria is lifting some of its drought restrictions. The city has been in stage 3 of its drought contingency plan since July. The city says recent rainfall has allowed the water level in the primary reservoir to rise to 52 feet above mean sea level for 14 consecutive days. So the city can now end stage 3 and re-enter stage 2. Residents are no longer required to follow many of the stage 3 restrictions, such as the limitation of watering to designated days. And now let's take a first look at your forecast. Here's First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. Mac, I got a feeling you're going to tell us when the next rains will be coming.
Yes, I do, and it's good news because maybe we'll keep lifting more burn bans. What we've got here is, of course, a lot of cloud cover, but by tomorrow, a whole bunch of Gulf moisture is going to roll back in, setting the stage for some heavy rain. This will be on Thursday night, and when I consider heavy rain, I'm thinking more than ½ an inch. That would be helpful. We'll be talking about it because it's going to affect everybody on Thursday. Up in a moment. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Don, back to you.
How the Israeli-Hamas war is affecting Texans. Among the hostages freed are relatives of a Central Texas man. KXAN reports Dory Roberts said his cousin and her 2 daughters were among the Israeli hostages held captive by Hamas for nearly 2 months. Roberts said after 50 long days, they were freed on Friday. The daughters are just 2 and 4 years old. 2 of his relatives still remain hostages. Not all of his family members made it out alive. Roberts said his aunt was killed while in captivity. There were some tense moments on the Rio Grande recently involving migrants. DPS troopers jumped into action to save migrants from drowning or being swept downstream while they were crossing the river near Eagle Pass. The dramatic video shows the Tactical Marine Unit as they responded to numerous submersion injuries, resulting in taken life-saving measures. DPS says troopers acted fast in using personal flotation devices, pulling women and children out of the river and performing CPR. The Coast Guard and local authorities are searching for 4 men in Louisiana who went missing from a bulk carrier vessel near Belle Chase. Monday night, the Coast Guard sector New Orleans received a notification of potentially 4 persons in the water. The Coast Guard says all 4 people reported are to be of Bangladeshi nationality, and all crew members are from the bulk carrier vessel Megna Adventure. The Coast Guard says they reportedly did not arrive for muster aboard their vessel late Monday. The Texas Supreme Court heard arguments today from attorneys on behalf of 22 women who were denied abortions. The hearing focused on the decision of whether to block the state's abortion ban, which would allow abortions to resume in cases of medical emergencies and fatal fetal diagnoses while litigation continues. The lawsuit is asking the court to block Texas abortion bans due to uncertainty surrounding the meaning of the exceptions to the laws. Sandy Hook families who won $1.5 billion against Alex Jones are offering to settle for about $85 billion over 10 years. During Jones's bankruptcy case last week in Houston, the families proposed the offer, which includes 2 options. 1, sell his estate, or 2, commit to paying a minimum of $8.5 million yearly for a decade, plus 50% of any income exceeding $9 million a year. If Jones rejects the family's offer, a judge will decide the amount he owes to the families and other creditors. A Houston man is being charged with felony arson in San Jacinto County for a fire at his home that killed 2 men. KTRK reports a grand jury met Monday morning and issued a true bill for Mario Roberson after a month-long investigation by the Texas State Fire Marshal's office. Roberson's rental home in Huntsville caught fire in June. 2 men, including one of his family members, died in the fire. Another man escaped with serious injuries. The need for blood donations goes up over the holiday season. The South Texas Blood and Tissue Center is asking everyone who can donate to sign up to help soon. The Blood Center has several blood drives coming up. If your company or organization would like to host a blood drive, they want to hear from you. The new Blood Center is located next to HEB Plus on North Navarro in Victoria. A Victoria native is busy this holiday season far away from home. Chief Quartermaster Matthew Rodriguez navigates landing craft during amphibious operations with the USS Boxer in the Pacific Ocean. Rodriguez is on a ship that is part of a group conducting integrated training and routine operations in the U.S. Third Fleet. Virgin Atlantic has made history flying the first transatlantic flight powered by 100% sustainable aviation fuel. The Boeing 787 took off from London Tuesday, heading toward New York. Virgin Atlantic says it uses 70 tons of fuel made mostly from waste cooking oils and animal fat. This flight was a demonstration and did not carry any paying passengers. Current regulations ban airlines from using a blend of more than 50% sustainable aviation fuel. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so when you're on YouTube you can get Crossroads Today. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 6, the U.S. House of Representatives are back at work and they have a big list of things to finish. Also ahead, watch out for scammers if you donate to charities online. The House of Representatives returned to Washington Tuesday with a big to-do list, and Republicans continue to face challenges as they lead with a very slim majority.
Members of the House of Representatives are back on Capitol Hill with important agenda items to address: aid to Israel, the annual defense policy bill, and multiple government funding bills.
We're optimistic that we'll be able to get those negotiated and done in time so that we will not be facing a government shutdown.
But House Republicans face unique challenges as they lead with a very slim majority.
When you only have 3 or 4 votes to spare and a lot of people want a lot of different things, there's just simply no compromise to be had to keep the funding open with just Republican votes.
And the small majority could get even smaller. Congressman George Santos, a Republican from New York, is facing possible expulsion.
What that does do is complicate the math for Republicans, right? And especially Speaker Johnson, where you remove a reliably conservative vote for all of these things that we've talked about that Republicans want to pass, and you create a vacancy when you can't afford to have any votes missing.
A bipartisan House Ethics Committee released a scathing report earlier this month, finding evidence that he broke federal laws, stole from his campaign, and delivered a, quote, constant series of lies to get elected. Santos denounced the investigation, calling the report biased. But after its release, he announced he won't run again in 2024. Whether Congress votes to expel Santos or he remains in Congress for now, his swing district seat will be up for grabs at some point, and both Republicans and Democrats will be looking to claim it. In Washington, Julia Benbrook.
Elon Musk has agreed to operate Starlink in Gaza, but only with Israel's approval. Israeli officials say the Starlink satellite units can only be operated in Israel with the approval of the Israeli Ministry of Communications, and that includes the Gaza Strip. In late October, Musk said that Starlink would support connectivity to internationally recognized aid organizations in Gaza. That's after the besieged territory suffered a loss of internet service. Today is Giving Tuesday, a big booster for organizations that rely on the spirit of the season to drive end-of-year donations. A number of charities will encourage online donation, and scammers are ready to take advantage.
Giving Tuesday is a chance to kickstart a warm season of generosity and helping others. But even with charitable donations, the typical rules of online diligence still should apply. And experts say consumers should take the extra steps to protect their finances, their personal information, and their donations all season long. Amid the bustle of holiday shopping and spending, it's also a good time of year to give back. Unfortunately, scammers will deploy common tricks to take advantage of the busy season.
There's so many things that we interact with online and things that we do online, and that goes for both work and personal life, that, there are a lot of ways to get people to act.
Hank Schless of cybersecurity company Lookout says phishing scams, emails or text messages encouraging a recipient to follow a link to a fake website that looks like the real deal can prompt a consumer to give away critical information like logins and passwords.
Once they steal that, they'll go and basically they have these programs that can automatically try your credentials across thousands of other websites, including, banking websites and things like that.
As Americans make end-of-year online donations to support causes and groups, the Federal Trade Commission warns scammers often put pressure on consumers to donate right away, often using the name of a group that seems legitimate to cause confusion. Before giving, seek out websites that evaluate charities like the Better Business Bureau's Give.org, or check a charity's standing with the IRS. And use a credit card or check for donations. The FTC says asking for cash or gift cards can be signs of a scam. Last year, according to GivingTuesday.org, 37 million people participated in the day by volunteering or making a donation, and donations totaled more than $3.1 billion. A big boost to start the season of giving. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
An 18-wheeler carrying hundreds of live chickens overturned on Interstate 59 in Louisiana this morning. Authorities say one person was injured and dozens of chickens were set free on the highway. Interstate traffic was eventually reopened, but there are still a few chickens roaming the area.
They're taking off, as a matter of fact. Well, folks, it's 56 degrees, rather cool out there and rather damp. Now, the interesting part is that as we get into this week, by Thursday, we have a very good chance of having more significant rainfall. 62 was our high today. Of course, that compares to 71 which is the average, but you know, we don't do average around here. Anyway, we got to give you a heads up that we have an alert day ready for Thursday for possibly some heavy rain around here. I'll tell you why coming up in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're getting into that holiday spirit. It's feeling like it. I mean, the temperatures are rather on the chilly side. Today, while northern areas of the Crossroads got sunshine, we didn't get much here in the city. It stayed overcast pretty much all day long. Tomorrow, we're going to pick up a fairly strong south wind, and that's going to set the stage for what could be a heavy rain. At this time of the year, I'm calling, heavy rain about a ½ an inch, and that's possible on Thursday. I'm going to explain all that right about now. While we're getting ready for it, and that system is actually still on the west coast, but that's going to dive down into the southwest, come right over our area. That's why we're looking for the area of maximum lifting to occur here. That's why we may get a couple thunder bumpers rolling around through here. Here's what I'm talking about. This is Wednesday. This is where the storm will be on Wednesday in the southwest. And then we go through Thursday, and it starts rolling in through the El Paso area in the early part of the day. By Thursday night, however, it rolls right over us, and that's when we have a shot at getting some heavy rainfall. Now, when I say heavy rainfall, why this and why not anything else? Well, Future Tracker will show you that we don't expect much on Wednesday, but as we go from Wednesday on into Thursday, you'll see how the rain begins, and then Thursday night gets heaviest before it starts pulling out of here on Friday. Now, ordinarily, we'd say a little bit of good rain is good, right? And it is. Problem is that the Severe Storms Lab has put up an area of watch. Now, here's severe weather outlook for Thursday, and this is a slight chance. So from the Crossroads up to Houston and over into Beaumont, they have a shot at getting some of those thunderstorms. That would be thunder and lightning and gusty winds occurring. This would be Thursday night, overnight into Friday morning. By Friday afternoon, this will pull away. So really the best chance we've got is Thursday night, and there you see it. There's Goliad, there's Victoria. So part of the Crossroads is under that threat of possible heavy thunderstorms. So we're going to watch for that. We've put out an alert to make sure everybody knows. Overnight, we'll get down to about 49, 50 degrees. Tomorrow, we'll get up to about 67. Tomorrow, Wednesday, is kind of quiet. It's not till early Thursday when the moisture starts getting closer to our area. Here's another view of it. Here's Tuesday. There you see the dip in the atmosphere bringing down that rain. That becomes another snowstorm for the mountains of the southwest. But there you have it. On Thursday, the GFS is giving us a pretty good shot at getting some rainfall with that system coming through. And the important part is it's actually stronger up toward Waco and Dallas and Houston than our area, but we should get something as it moves fairly quickly through our system and through our region rather. So let's take a look at what to expect for tomorrow in Port Lavaca. We're starting off at 55. Getting up to 67 with the overcast skies sort of getting thicker and thicker. The winds by the end of the day will either be east or southeast, but that will bring us back the Gulf moisture that got pushed out to sea. In Cuero, we start off at 50 and get up to 64. Again, that easterly wind will start piling up that moisture. And here's a long-term view. We're looking for mild 67 tomorrow. even milder on Thursday as the moisture comes in. Heaviest rain will be Thursday night into Friday, and then Friday a little gusty north wind. Will stay, shall we say, without heavy rain, but it'll be a little damp and drizzly as we get through this coming weekend. That is your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody, we've got a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Mr. Don.
Thank you, Mr. Mack, and Sports Director Gino Perez is here. Gino, I can't wait for Saturday morning at 11 o'clock when the Texas Longhorns can be seen on this station along with Jordan Whittington playing for the Big 12 championship.
That's right. A former Cuero Gobbler is heading back to Jerry World to try and bring home yet another championship, this time for the Longhorns. That's coming up after the break. At Crossroads, a Goliad track and field state champion is going to Utah to continue his throwing career. Caden Reagan has signed his letter of intent with the Utah State Aggies. Reagan won gold last year in discus and is getting ready to defend his title. But this year, he's going for the school record for longest throw. He just needs a few more feet. And Reagan is one of many successful track and field athletes that have gone to represent Goliad, the community, and the track and field team, and Caden says it's just what they do.
I mean, winning's a tradition, and Goliad definitely has that tradition. So getting to come here and be a part of this program where I could be around winners and continue to win myself, it's nice.
With the football season in the books, Reagan wants to turn his attention to the track and field season so that he can work toward achieving his goal. The Big 12 championship game is set, and a former Crossroads athlete will be playing at AT&T Stadium for the first time since winning a state title back in 2018. Former Cuero utility player Jordan Whittington and the rest of the Texas Longhorns punched their ticket to the Big 12 title game for the first time since winning it back in 2009 and will take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. The last time Whittington was at Jerry World, he led the Gobblers to a 40-28 victory over the Pleasanton Grove to win the Class 4A Division II state championship and Cuero's fourth in its history. In the final game of his high school career, Whittington had 334 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 11 tackles. Now he's hoping to do something similar to that in potentially his final game as a Longhorn. The Horns and Cowboys play Saturday morning, December 2nd at 11 in Arlington. A Crossroads area running back is in the running for one of the most prestigious awards in Texas high school football, the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year Award. Out of all the football players in the state, there are only 25 athletes left in the running for the Mr. Texas High School Football Player of the Year Award, and one running back is one of the semifinalists, and that's Tidehaven's running back Joseph Dodds, who has had a fantastic season so far, rushing for just over 2,000 yards and a total of 33 touchdowns so far. He has been one of the main factors in leading his team to the regional finals, and if Dodds can win the award, he'll become the first to win it from the Crossroads area since Hallettsville running back Jonathan Brooks won it back in 2019. The winner will be announced prior to the Tax Act Texas Bowl, which will be played at NRG Stadium. Dodds and the Tigers will be playing Poth Friday here in Victoria at 7. Tonight in the St. Joe Dome, the Lady Flyers take the hardwood, and the St. Joseph Lady Flyers are hosting the El Campo Lady Ricebirds. That game tipped off at 5:30, and we will have updates on that one later tonight at 10. And shortly after the Lady Flyers and the El Campo's Lady Ricebirds game, the boys are taking on the Woodsboro Eagles in the St. Joe Dome, and this game starts at 6:45. That's your sports. Don, back to you.
All right, Gino, thank you. We're back in a moment. Sebastian the Husky somehow got himself stuck in a sewer drain on Sunday and had to be rescued in Kentucky. Finally tonight, Sebastian the Husky needed some help after he got himself stuck in a sewer drain Sunday in Kentucky. And workers spent about half an hour trying to rescue him and ended up removing the manhole cover to pull him out. Yep. Sebastian was excited to get out and eager to reunite with his owner, who picked him up Monday evening. A happy ending for Sebastian, who seems ready for his next adventure. Hopefully it's above ground. I don't know how in the world a big dog like that, Huskies are not small, somehow got through that in that drain.
He's doing his best Pennywise impression.
Oh, oh man.
But he probably was chasing something and didn't even know it, and next thing you know, go, okay, how do I get out of this one? But he looked pretty sad there for a minute.
Yes, but he's okay now.
Much
now.
happier. All right. Well, folks, tomorrow's not a bad day. A little overcast, only about 67. It's Thursday. I want to give you a heads up. It's an alert day. That means it's going to start raining early and get heavier on Thursday night. We may see some thunderstorms within the Crossroads region, maybe not so much here in Victoria. And then the front comes through by Friday morning, so we'll get a little windy. I wish I could tell you it's going to be clear and blue, but it's not. It's going to stay overcast and drippy for next weekend. But it's okay. You know, we're going in December. Can you believe it? I wondered why all this was here. You know.
Now you know.
Now I
Thanks
know.
for joining us. We'll see you tonight. 25 News Now at 10.